have a vision the way you want your costume to look, it's all about you being happy and proud of what you're wearing.
There's not a single person that does everything. I don't know anybody who does everything.
I put each individual hair in this thing.
I know some.
Really? That's a lot of work. I don't want to sound like I got people to do it.
Someone did it,
But not this guy.
Could you make me a wig like that, but out of cheaper material?
Like yarn?
Yeah, yarn.
Can you just shave the hair off of my body and make it into a wig, please?
And that's free. That'll be free. So, I'm glad I'm on a panel where markets have been mentioned. Mark, so let me ask you a more direct question.
Yes.
I mean, were you always interested in costuming, or was it more a direct result of your convention appearances after your acting success, or was it before all of that?
No, it was before all that, for sure. It was like I say, Halloween was what started it off. Any excuse I had to throw a Halloween party. So it's really what inspired me to dress up. It's just like the love of the comic books and the source material.
And let me just ask for everyone on the panel here, what was your very first comics-based costume? Margie, I think you said yours was Wonder Woman, right?
Very first costume, no, I was not that solid. I was pretty, honestly, my first costume was horrible. I hate to tell you because I think you'll go look it up, and then I'm gonna be embarrassed, and I'll just be like, oh no, I didn't make that. But it was actually a jubilant purple Catwoman from the 90s, because I was like, I think I can do that, and I kind of did it. It was okay. So we all started somewhere, and that's where I started. But that was, and I did do, some charity stuff with that, but eventually I was like, I really need to make a Wonder Woman costume because that's the run that all the kids were like, oh, and they were like, oh, and it's like, thank you.
Oh, geez. Well, when I first started, I had learned a thing. So I had actually outsourced at the beginning. And then I was so impatient that I wanted to do so many that I actually, did Google, did forums, did YouTube, and I was like, I'm gonna figure this shit out, hold on. And naturally, I went the spandex route. Spandex is my jam. So my first one was 90s jean, and I've remade that thing, God, like 4 times now. And I like actually showing my old shit because I like to compare, at least publicly, like you can get better, you can, and you can learn new techniques. And I hate it because then I do want to remake everything that I did the first time when I was doing stuff, but it's a plus.
I think my first, I borrowed a black cat actually from my very first Comic-Con, but after that I was hooked and I won my own. I did Frank Whiteley's Emma Frost, and I did Jim Lee's Hush Huntress, and those were I did at the same time. So I think I wore in San Diego. This was the first 2.
I did the worst Batman that you've ever seen in your entire life.
Not this one.
Not that one. That one's okay.
So bad.
You should have had a Stuart first cosplay.
No.
Yeah.
No, I've destroyed all of those pictures, but it was awful. And I didn't really take it anywhere. But I mean, the cowl was too small. If any of you are going to get a cowl done, if you have access to it, get a head cast. Okay. I don't care if you make it out of duct tape or whatever, and put.
Don't do that.
It can be done. Get a head cast. It's fun.
Get a head cast though from somebody who's done head cast before, because I've been on the RPF, which is a fantastic forum, and a number of years ago, someone posted how they did a head cast, and I'm surprised this guy was impossible. And he was like, and someone's like, dude, that is not the safest way to do a head cast. He's like, that's okay, I saved a lot of money. And I'm like, I had a medical bill, and I would not have saved a lot of money.
Yeah, it's like a hug for your head that lasts an hour. It's kind of weird. It was Vizcarra, and then I was using neoprene for the bodysuit, and because I was like, I can wear spandex. And neoprene is not good to wear in Georgia, let me tell you. Okay, on land. Okay. It was awful when it was like a cheap master replica, and I just I've destroyed them all. I told you, and so
In my mind, it's awesome.
yeah, humble beginnings, and then you learn and you meet people, and I will say that one of the best things about this lifestyle, this hobby, whatever you want to call it, is that there's a great knowledge share that happens. Like in any given time, if I have a question that I don't know the answer to, I can call any one of 3 or 4 people at least that will have something meaningful to agree with that, not just tell me the answer to something that I'm thinking about. So.
But all that said, if someone, like, when you go up to someone, don't ask them how they made their costume. It's not like they don't want to share it with you, but it's more like, do you want to know about the boots? Do you want to know about how to make armor? Do you know how to sew? Do you have a skill base to work off of? Say, oh, okay, well, I sew, this is what I do. So that they can kind of hone that in and kind of tell you a good way to make it for yourself. Because I've had so many people that come up to me and they're like, oh, how did you make the Wonder Woman costume? I'm like, do you want to know how to make boots? Or, I mean, how long do you have? Because it took me like years to learn how to do all of the stuff, all the skill sets that you have to make it. So what I definitely suggest is finding one skill set and then working on that, and then when you kind of get that, to where you feel pretty good about it, then go into the next one and ask someone about maybe one thing, like, okay, how did you make the armor? How did you make the corset? Or how did you do one thing rather than like the entire costume?
And if you send a message to somebody and ask them how to do something and they respond, just send them a thank you. So many times I've responded how I did something, and I don't seem so simple, but people are taking time out of their day to respond because you took the time to write us. And just say thanks, or just throw us a picture of what you did with the information. Like that would always make me really excited. Someone would say like, hey, remember that tip you gave me? Here's me actually using it. And that's like a really good feeling because for me, when it comes to cosplay, all I really want to do is I just want to give people information so they can make better costumes and feel proud of. And that's all I really look for. So if you have that, that's what I like to see. I don't know if you get messages like, how'd you make this?
Oh, no, I get more like, can I buy that off you?
Oh yeah.
And, no.
What did you pay for that? Will you sell it to me for cheaper than what you paid?
Yeah.
Actual question I got one time.
Yeah, so I rent that? No, I don't want your dirty shit all over my stuff.
Any idea how much head sweat is going into this rubber cowl?
Yeah.
I don't wash those. You don't wash
Yeah, no. I can dispose it down in the tub.
Typically, I mean, I have no problem answering questions, but I'm that jerk that starts off with like, well, have you Googled it? Like, and it's not to be cocky, it's literally, because that's how I started, was I didn't ask anybody anything. I was like, how do you make this? How do you make that? And like, I know it's Google, but seriously, so many results in YouTube, and it's just, it is, if you take the initiative to look things up, really, things are actually not as intimidating when you look at tutorials. And it's all there, DeviantArt, YouTube, Google, forums, left and right. So I tend to answer like, okay, well, did you have trouble Googling it?
Hey, Kearstin, where did you find those black boots?
Oh, which black boots?
Yeah, did you put in Google?
Oh, you mean the link that I already posted in the picture comment?
Oh yeah, make sure to see there's not like a poster tutorial.
That I've already answered 1,000 times?
Can I just tell you that one of my favorite things to do to you is ask you really obvious questions over text messages just to see how you're going to react?
It's because you're a jerk, Spooner.
Yep.
Mr. Meer, I'm not going to let you get away without an answer. What was your initial comics-based costume, sir?
My very first one was Dr. Doom, and that was one that was sort of refined over several Halloweens, as costumes often are. You take one through a test run, and you figure out what works and what doesn't. You replace bits and pieces of it, yeah. So Dr. Doom eventually got up to a workable level, and something that I wasn't just ashamed of.
Kevin, you bring up this idea of a knowledge share, and what I think is really interesting about this panel is that you guys are friends already. It's not like I'm introducing anybody to anyone else here.
I've broken bread with all of these people.
And so how does no one heard that because the microphone was in one
You mean a fart joke?
Adorable girl made a fart.
So how does that develop? I mean, do you just meet at these cons? I mean, is it an online presence thing? How do you all know each other? How did you become such good friends?
Drunk.
I
Virtually all of my friends I know from this community, honestly, like almost 100% of them. We had my wife I met through this hobby. It was that's not my wife. That's Margie.
That's
Yeah, no, I met her at San Diego Comic Con. She was wearing a Mockingbird outfit. I was wearing it. And it's an extremely welcoming community. And at my wedding, my dad actually he was like, "This is nice stuff." It's really cool. And like I think I met Margie like the first year either of us were doing anything in public. I think. Yeah. And yeah, we were both very freshmen. That's the process. Oh man, I'm pretty sure.
There's the wedding picture.
That's everybody. Okay, now I don't know how many of you have ever done either the big Marvel or DC photo shoot, but you know Alan Hanser, the guy from the SCF, the Superhero Costume Forum. He officiated our wedding. Yeah, because it was through his forum that we met, and I was like, Alan, I want you to do it. Can you know? And he did, and so we did the fan looking at my parents too, and it's amazing how accepting people get. They go, oh, this nerd crap I don't want to do, you know, and then it becomes infectious. It's a cool thing. So I've lost my train of thought.
So DragCon.
Yeah, DragCon, and then conventions, and then just being around these kind of people that are very welcoming and open about answering questions and stuff, and then you wind up drinking beers and having fun and
I'd have to say forums was a big one for me though.
Yeah.
I mean, aside from these cats, like I love the internet. And so there was a bunch of forums, and one in particular that I started on was called the X-Men Forum, and it was just a small bunch of us, but you know, when you start there, and then you're like, hey, you guys are cool, this is great, let's hang out. And then you meet their friends, and then you meet their friends, and then you learn about all these different conventions. You're like, hey, I want to go to that shit. So it's like, and then you meet everybody else, and you're not gonna like everybody, okay? You don't have to be friends with everyone.
some are jerks.
Some are jerks, but
Most are.
But for the most part, like 99.9% of the time, you're gonna meet some great people, and you know, you'll learn, especially like, hey, this person's wearing the same shit I am. Instead of going like, bitch, you would go, we obviously have something in common, and you start there, and it's a good opener. So people need to be able to differentiate from that. But I'd say forums, though, that's where it starts for me.